Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Chibi Thor. So let's get started in the top of the face with the eyes. So we'll start with the one on the left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top and just draw a circle for the eye. From here I'm going to draw a highlight on the top left corner here. Just imagine the light coming down at an angle this way. So it's going to pick up a little highlight on the top left. So let's draw a circle and then color everything else in black. From here, we're going to draw the exact same thing over on the right side. So I'm going to imagine a line down the center. I want the distance of each eye to be equal from that center point. So starting at the top, we're going to line up the tops. And just draw a circle of the same size. And then I'll draw that same highlight circle at the top left corner. Let's go ahead and color everything in black. Okay, from here, I'm going to have to draw in the sides of the face guard first before I draw in the face because this overlaps the helmet and the main part of the face. So let's go ahead and draw some curves on the side, just beside each eye. So I'm going to start with a point underneath the eye, and I'm going to work my way up to the side here. So I just want to go a little bit higher than the eye, and just draw a curve going just below the eye like that. I want to draw that exact same thing on the right side. So I want to make sure that I get the same height. So I'm going to put a point right here, and I want to draw it down to the same height on the bottom. So I'll start at the top. I'm going to curve down towards my fingers right there. From here, let's go ahead and draw the side guards. So these are going to come down at an angle, down to about just lower than the chin. So I'm going to draw the chin probably here. I want to come down a little bit lower. So coming down at an angle on both sides. So you see they're coming in towards each other. From here, let's go back up to the top of the face. We're going to go in between the eyes, a little bit lower than the top of the eyes. I'm going to draw a little point. From here, I'm going to flare out two angled lines going outwards. So one to the left and one to the right. And then from here, I'm going to draw two more angled lines going up, and I want them to come to the same height as these lines here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. I'm going to come up in a steeper angle up to the same height as this line there. Do the same thing on this side. Drawing two angled lines, and then I'm going to connect that to that point with a straight line on both sides. Let's go ahead and draw in some eyebrows. So above this eye, I'm just going to start on the left. I'm going to curve inwards. From here, I'm going to angle this line, a little short line going up, and I'm going to go back to the starting point. Just draw a curve so it gets a little bit thicker as it gets towards the center. Let's draw the same thing on the right. So here, I'm going to draw a curve. Draw that angled line in the middle, and then connect the front to the back. Let's draw a little bit more detail on the helmet. So up here, about halfway between this point and this point, I want to draw a line going out just to the edge of the eye. Just going straight out like that on both sides. And then from here, I'm going to curve this line down. Curve it down and beside that face guard. Just like so on both sides. Now from here, let's go ahead and just draw in the chin. So just above the point on the other side here, I'm just going to come up a little bit and draw a curve to the bottom of the chin. Going from left to right, we're going to draw in the beard. Let's go up here. So halfway between this point and the chin, I'm going to draw a curve from left to right. From here, I'm going to angle two lines coming down on both sides. From here, I'm going to take this point and just curve it and tuck it in underneath this line. Let's go back up to the center. So from here, I'm going to come down a bit and put a point there. From this point, I'm going to curve down towards the chin on both sides. So you can see there are two curves coming down. And then right here, just above here, I'm going to draw a curve. This is for the bottom of the lip because the mouth is actually tucked in underneath the mustache. From this point, I'm going to curve and tuck underneath that line. I'll do the same thing on the right. So you can see that there's a little gap in between there. Okay, so let's go up to the helmet. So the side of these face guards, I'm going to have to curl these out. So the top of the head, I kind of want the top of the head to be about there. I want the wings to go a little bit higher than that. So if this is the top of my head, I'll go a little bit higher. So from this point, I'm going to curve it in the opposite direction. So you see it's curving this way, in. I want to go the opposite way from here. So I'm going to go up to the starting point, and just pull the pen towards me and just connect with that point there. I'm going to go over to the right side and do the same thing. Starting on the outside, and curve right into that point there. Let's go ahead and draw in some of the detail for the helmet. So here, I'm going to take this line, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to draw a straight line going across, and I want to pass this line a little bit. So going straight across, you see I'm passing this line, just a little. I'll do the same thing on the right side. From here, I'm going to angle two lines coming in at that same angle that I have here. So two short lines coming in, and then I'm going to connect those 2 points with a straight line going across. Let's go ahead and draw a little more detail here. So from the center, I'm going to come down just a little bit, draw a point. I'm going to take those two corners and just draw an angled line going right into there. So you see it's just changing directions just slightly. Okay, from here, I'm going to take this point in the middle and go straight up to the center of the head, to the top of the head. So right about here, I'm going to pull a line straight down. So it's always easier to pull the pen towards you than away if you want to get a straight line. From these two corners, I'm going to curve towards that top of the head there. So let's go ahead and take this pen right in the corner here. I'm going to draw a curve going to that point. So it's actually not a curve, it actually goes to a point. And go back up here, and I'm going to curve down towards the right. From these points here, I'm going to curve out, pulling them out. Okay, so we got that. Let's get back to the side guards on the face. So from these points, I'm going to angle them down. It's just for the ends of the wings. So I'm going to take this point here and pull it down at an angle, and I probably want to come up to the same distance or length as that top of the helmet there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this line towards this way. I'm going to go up here and do the same thing. So I want to come up to about here and pull this line like so. From here, I'm going to curve down. I'm going to do sort of a backwards S on this side, and I'll do sort of an S shape on this side. So this is going to get a little bit tricky. So from here, I'm going to pull it in to here. So it gets a little bit tighter as it gets in that way. So it's one curve this way. From here, I'm going to go in the opposite direction and connect with that point there. Let's go ahead and just curve and just connect with that point at the bottom of that guard. I'll do the same thing on this side. So I'm probably going to pull this line just a little bit more, just to make sure it's the same height. I'm going to come down to a pinch point here, so curving in like this, and then it's going to curve in the opposite direction. So curving around and connecting there. Let's draw in a little bit of detail on the wings. So there's a couple like little stripes that go along here. So what I'm going to do, starting up here, I'm going to draw a curve going into the side of the wing there. So it kind of comes from the end, right on the inside. I'll go right up here, I'll do the same thing. And then one final one, I'm going to go right, and I'm just going to aim right to that point there, like that. Let's go back up on this side on the right and try to draw the same thing. So just trying to get the same distance on either side. So I'm going to come down to about here, just draw that curve there, and then one final one, pull that in like that. So we got the head, let's get into the body. So let's start with the neck. So under the chin, I'm going to draw a curve going from left to right. We're going to draw those two chest plates on either side, so two big circles, just right in between the neck and the side of the face guard. And these are going to be about the same size as the eyes. And then I'm going to just trace on the inside just two smaller circles, just for the trim of these chest plates. From here, let's simplify the cape. From here in between, I'm just going to curve a line like this. That's going to connect those 2 points. Now we're going to draw the top of the cape here, because it kind of goes this way and it folds back behind the arms, but the top part will actually overlap on top of the arms. So from here, I'm going to curve a line going outwards. So a little curve going out from those chest plates, like that. I'm going to take that point and just tuck that in under the face mask, just like that. So from here, let's get into the body. So the torso, the upper torso, I'm going to draw it pretty short. So right about here, so I'm going to go from these chest plates, I'm going to curve two lines coming out on either side. I'm going to connect those 2 points with a curve. Curve going down, back up. Let's draw in the center plate. So there's this little detail in the center here. So I'm going to take a point here and just draw like a V going towards the center of the body. From the center here, I'm going to pull a line down, and then I'm going to draw a smaller V just underneath it. Let's go up on either side, and then from these ends, I'm just going to push these underneath those discs. From here, let's draw in two more discs on either side, but these are going to get smaller as they go lower down on the body. So right in here in the space, I'm just going to draw a smaller circle, smaller than this one here. Let's go and draw one more on the right. And then we're going to draw two tinier ones on the ends. So just two smaller ones. You see that I'm coming in and on an angle. They're coming down towards each other. From here, let's draw a little small detail. So up here, I'm just going to draw two lines coming up. And come up in an upside down V towards the center, leaving a gap, and pull a line down in the middle. So here, let's draw in the little cloth that hangs down. So on either side of this centerpiece, I'm going to draw two angled lines coming in. I'll connect that with a straight line across the bottom. I'm just going to trim out this just to give a little bit of detail. Just trim the outside like that. Now let's get into the legs. So legs, I'm going to make them pretty short. I'm going to make the legs about the same height as the upper torso. So starting up here, not on the center, but just left of center, I'm going to draw a curve down to the left heel, and then on the right, a curve down to the right heel. Let's draw on the bottoms of the feet. So I'm going to draw a curve from the heel to the toe, and I want the feet to be quite wide. So draw a curve like that, and a curve on the right side. Now let's start on the left. We're going to draw the top part of the foot. So from this point, I'm going to curve up. From this hip, I'm going to curve this right on top of that foot. Just like that. Let's draw the sole of the foot. So here I'm just going to trace the bottom edge just above, just to give a little bit of thickness. We're going to draw the top edge of the boot. So right here I'm going to draw a curve. And then just below it I'm going to draw a thick band. From the front I'm just going to draw a little bit of a knee pad. So coming up a little bit, I'll draw a curve going right to the top of that boot. From here, let's go and draw that flipped over on this side. So I'm going to draw a curve going to that point there on the right. So curving, and then going back up to the hip, I'm going to curve this down to here. So let's draw on the bottom of the boot. Up here, I'm going to draw that top trim of the boot, and then make it twice as thick for the trim. And then I'm going to draw that knee pad, starting on the outside, curving in. Let's get into the arms. Okay, so this arm I'm going to have him holding his hammer. This arm I'm just going to have him with a fist, getting ready for battle. So let's start on this side. So we're going to draw the arm curving up to the hand, which is going to be here. So on this curve, I'm going to start about halfway. Just draw a curve going out towards the wrist. Underneath here, I'm going to take that same curve and just draw a curve going underneath that body. Just like that. From here, let's round out the wrist. And I'm going to come down a bit and then just trim out the wrist area. And then from here, let's go ahead and draw on the hand. So I'm going to have the hand in this position like this. So what we're going to do is start with the thumb. Starting from this corner, I'm going to curl around like that. Okay, so starting from the wrist, I'm curling around on itself. From here, we're going to draw a curve going towards the center of this wrist. So this is this part right here. Let's draw on the first finger. So here, I'm going to draw a curve tucked in underneath that thumb. We're going to do an overlap. So coming down here, draw a curve and roll this right into that thumb. And then let's draw one more finger. So here, I'm just going to do that same thing, just tuck this in underneath. Now we're going to draw the handle of the hammer before I finish off this hand. So the hammer I'm going to draw on this angle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just on the side here and pull a little short line down. I'm going to go over just underneath this pinky and just draw another line down. Straight line across to connect that. Now we can finish off this hand. So I'm just going to follow this line and just curve the bottom of the hand like that. Let's take these two lines here and just pull them past the hand here. So I'm going to imagine this line going up and just going behind the hand there. This line is going to continue on up as well. Let's draw the little strap down here. So here I'm just going to draw a curve. Kind of looks like a raindrop. It goes like that. Okay, so there's a little gap in between. And I'm just going to trace the inside, just to make it look like it's got some thickness. Let's draw the actual hammer part. So because the hammer handle is in a tilt, I'm going to have to draw the hammer in that angle too. So this bottom part, I'm going to draw a straight line across. is take those 2 points and pull 2 lines going up. Now this isn't going to be square, it's a little bit more rectangle. And I'm going to connect those 2 points with a straight line going across. Now for a little bit of detail, on this end here, this top corner, I'm just going to pull a line in, and this bottom I'm going to go up. Let's connect those 2 points with a straight line. Let's do the same thing on this side. So from up here I'm going to pull it down, from up here I'm going to pull it up, and connect it with a straight line. Let's do a little bit of detail in his arm. So he's got sort of like a cross-hatched pattern on this arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom corner here. I'm going to just draw a line across like that, and just leave a gap and just evenly space out these straight lines going across that arm. We're going to go in the opposite direction now. So we're almost like creating little squares in here. So I'm just going to draw lines going in the opposite direction, this way. Cool. Now let's go and draw the arm on this side within the fist position. So I'm going to take this arm and draw almost the exact same thing on this side. So from the hands, I want to locate the hand here. So I'm going to start the arm at the top, in between the cape here. Just draw a curve towards the wrist. On the bottom here, I'm going to curve towards the wrist. Connect this with a curve. Now I'm going to draw that wristband. So here I'm going to draw that curve like that. Let's go and draw the thumb. So starting at the top, I'm going to curve around on itself like that. From here, I'm going to curve in the inner part of the wrist, and it's drawing that first finger. So starting at the top of the thumb, curve around like this. Doing an overlap, we'll pull this finger in towards the thumb there, and then one final finger pulled in like that. And then from this wrist, I'm just going to round out and just pull that into that pinky there. Let's draw that cross-hatch pattern here. So I'm going to go in this direction, starting at the bottom, going across, and then in the opposite direction, moving down. Let's go ahead and finish off the cape. So you see where we ended off here. These are going to actually fold around and come in behind the body. So I'm going to pull this line down to here, but I'm going to do a little wave as I'm coming down. So curving around, coming down past that arm, coming down behind that rope, and just in like that. Let's do it on this side. So curving down, behind that hand, and then flaring out on the ends. I'm going to connect those 2 points with a curve. So I'm going to start here and just curve into that foot. Over here, I'll curve into that foot, finish off in between, and that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Chibi Thor. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please make sure you check out our Chibi playlist. I'll be adding more every weekend. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.